So last week, my friend Jess called me in a panic because her dog, Biscuit, had eaten her homework. Classic, right? Only, this wasn't third grade, this was for her college philosophy class, and apparently, the assignment was a 10-page essay on existentialism. I told her it was the oldest excuse in the book, but she insisted Biscuit had developed a taste for fine paper and existential dread. Anyway, Jess, being Jess, didn't just accept the zero. She decided to, and I quote, turn this doggone disaster into a creative solution. The next day, Jess shows up to class with Biscuit on a leash, but instead of a backpack, she's towing a small red wagon. Inside the wagon is Biscuit, wearing a little graduation cap, and, I kid you not, a stack of chewed-up, drool-splattered paper bits. When her professor asked where her essay was, Jess deadpanned, I brought the culprit for questioning. The class was already snickering, and Biscuit, sensing he was the center of attention, let out the world's most enthusiastic woof and started pawing at the wagon's side like he was defending his thesis. The professor, trying very hard not to laugh, told Jess, you can't just submit your dog instead of your assignment. But Jess, never one to back down, argued that since Biscuit had absorbed all her philosophical insight, he might be even more prepared for class discussion than she was. The professor rolled with it and asked Biscuit, so, what's your stance on the meaning of life? Biscuit just tilted his head, scratched his ear, and let out a deep sigh that sounded eerily appropriate for the topic. In the end, the professor told Jess she was barking up the wrong tree and that Biscuit's arguments were a little rough around the edges. Jess didn't get an extension, but she did get a standing ovation from the class, plus, Biscuit is now the unofficial class mascot. Guess the moral of the story is, if your homework's going to go to the dogs, at least make sure it's got a fetching conclusion.